what a Final Four, but in particular, what a classic matchup we will never forget between Gonzaga and UCLA. That is where we start today's show. Guys, as that game ended in overtime, I'm thinking, we just watched a game that, Claire and I, that we will never forget. We will always reference this game with the rest from here on out.
It's sometimes recency bias, sometimes hyperbole to say what we just saw was the best thing we've ever seen. I don't think it's either of those when you talk about this game. It may be the best college basketball game that we've ever seen. It was that good. And what I loved about it was that there wasn't this Chris Webber timeout type moment at any point. Everyone stepped up and made plays. Everyone played great. When it was the most pressure-packed moments, guys on both teams stepped up. It sounds silly and cliche to say there are no losers in that game. There really aren't any losers. That's one where you embrace after a game like that and know that you were a part of history, that everyone that watched that appreciates both teams equally in that moment for giving absolutely everything. And to see that many guys step up and make plays, it was phenomenal.
Yeah, like you're saying, there's no mistake really that was a key to the game. I mean, UCLA going to the basket, getting blocked, it's a phenomenal block, right? So there's no error. A guy, UCLA, who was it? The point guard misses a layup.
Johnny Juzang.
Or no, it's Juzang, misses the layup. He gets a follow and puts it back in to tie it. Both teams played at such a high level. UCLA played, a Villanova versus Georgetown quality game to be in position to pull the upset before Suggs' fantastic bank shot. I think not just that as a highlight for the ages, but Suggs' block that I just mentioned with the subsequent rebound, the almost full court bounce pass to Timmy and Timmy's subsequent. Did he dunk it or lay it in?
Oh, he dunked it.
Just a phenomenal,
he piked it.
A phenomenal basketball play. And, I'd hesitate to call it the greatest game of all time, but it's one of the greatest. That Duke-Kentucky game.
So let's compare.
It's there.
Let's compare the two.
Those two.
Because Duke-Kentucky, and we're going to have some audio for you comparing the two with people that lived it a little bit later, but a buddy of mine pointed this out, and it's a good point. The one difference between the two games, and that puts Duke-Kentucky over the top for him, was the crowd reaction in the Spectrum in Philadelphia. Packed house.
Part of it, yeah.
It was going nuts the whole game. And I remember watching that game as a kid and laying on my parents' floor looking up at the old TV set, watching that whole game and remembering it well. But it was the reaction of the crowd that had so much to do with it, but would agree that the game on the court was better, start to finish, between Gonzaga and UCLA than that classic Duke-Kentucky game. But just going back to the everyone making plays, the Jalen Suggs, the block, coming back inbounds. People were also asking, isn't that out of bounds if you're the first person to touch it when you come back inbounds? It changed this year. That rule did. If it's a basketball play that takes you out of bounds, as long as you reestablish both feet inbounds and touch it, then you're fine. Remarkable play by him. Just great play all around.
While we're talking about remarkable plays, Timmy stepping up to take the charge with
phenomenal.
4 fouls in that moment.
Bold.
But also the officials. The officials got that call right.
The officials, I thought, were great. Like, the big part of this game, zero controversy. That was an absolute charge. It was absolutely the right call.
Yeah.
I was worried they were going to screw it up. I knew when he stepped up, immediately I said, that's a charge. And I'm thinking, if they call a block here and they win this game on free throws with, 1.8, I think was the time left at that point, it would have been a terrible way to end that game. Right call by the officials. Timmy is like a funny Christian Laettner, is the best way to describe him. You know that the opposing teams hate him and his antics. But it's funny. The mustache celebration, everything. What a player to watch.
Yeah, but if he played for Duke or Kentucky, he would be hated nationally.
Hated.
He's got the benefit of playing for a program like Gonzaga.
But you know what I mean? Like, Laettner, there's a difference in the personalities, too. Like, he's got more of a funny, like look at me, mustache, flexing thing, a very self-aware type deal. Laettner was just dirty. I mean, he had a smirk on his face. He would talk trash.
He embraced the villain.
Yeah, kicking Timberlake while he's down. I mean, he was a dirty guy. I don't know that Timmy is dirty per se. He's just more funny. He's the rec league guy who gets under your skin, but he's funny about it.
Here's the one thing about the officials, too. I thought the official who called the three good, very emphatically, and some people are like, oh, he had this accent. No, he, too, appreciated, oh, my God, this fantastic game that I just officiated ended, and he was emphatically saying, unquestionably, the ball was out of his hand in time, and that was good. He was putting the cherry on top of the game. I had no problem at all with an emphatic, that basket's good call to end the game. One more thing on the Leitner. I think the one thing that makes that maybe a nose better, that's a win or lose shot. Suggs is a win or overtime, double overtime shot. So there's more at stake with Leitner's play, which was a prayer, right? That game was over. He knew he had the time to make the shimmy and get the shot off. It included the pass. There were more moving parts to that play, which also was all or nothing play. Suggs' play was fantastic with 3.3 left. Obviously knew where he was. Obviously has practiced those kind of scenarios a lot, not taking anything away from it. He misses, though, and what happens? They go to the bench and they come back out and play some more, which we all would have enjoyed as well. Phenomenal. But I'd give it by a nose, maybe.